Welcome, welcome, welcome. You are listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. This is WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, my favorite radio station. And you know we are still creating millionaires, one family at a time, one day at a time, $1 at a time, and one dime at a time. And when I say that, I need you to remember that I mean you. Yes, you. You who are listening, you who are thinking, you who are strategizing, you who are trying to figure out how am I going to get from point A to point B, from level 3 to level 10. I am talking to you. You have to believe that it's possible. You must believe that it's possible for you to get out of whatever you are in and go to the next level. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So I'm inviting you to make sure that you follow us at Lynn Millionaire, that you tell everyone you know to go to lynnmillionaire.com, listen live right now, go to WVON.com, click listen live, because we are about to make the last first and the first last. And I guess I just gave it away because I always like to start out with something that gives me inspiration. And scripture says in Matthew 20:16, very simply, that the last shall be first and the first shall be last. So if this has already been stated, and if you feel like you've been left behind, don't you know that it means that your front spot is waiting for you? If it feels like your goals haven't been met, if it feels like you are in last place, then you are right now in a setup to be in first place. How many people have we heard of, big global icons? We've heard their stories. Now, you may think that they were just lucky, but I'm telling you, it's not luck. It is perseverance. It's preparation. It's preparation meeting opportunity. What about my friend Steve Harvey? On one episode or many episodes, I remember talking to this family about bankruptcy and their car had been repossessed. And, you know, I'm trying to be a professional lady on the TV and tell the people what to do. And Steve starts telling them, now listen, when my car got repossessed, they're not coming to get my car. I hid my car for 2 months or 300 days, something crazy. And it was so funny, but it was true. So we know his story. We know before he made millions of dollars being one of the top paid talk show hosts in television in America, that he was homeless, that he was on the Chitlin circuit, that he slept in his car, that he grinded, that he did what he had to do. So if you are in a grind right now, if you are down below under the ground, you can't look up, you don't know where you're going to go, then you are in position to do something great. The fact that you are behind doesn't mean you can never be first. What about Tyler Perry? Come on. Everybody's talking about the historical accomplishment that he has achieved. And do you understand how big this is? This man basically said to Hollywood, if you are not going to let me in, if you are not going to let me have a seat at the table, then I'm going to make my own table. Well, guess what? It's time for you to make your own table. And I could not think of a better person to help me have this discussion with you other than my sister, my mentee. In some cases, I mentor her. In other cases, she might not know it. She mentors me. Has been a participant in the Wealth Experience and in Hip Hop Sisters since the day we connected. But let me tell you, she is a millionaire in the making, but it didn't start that way. She was single. She was homeless. She was trying to feed her children. And today she owns multiple multi-million-dollar businesses, multiple entities. Some of them have not always been successful, but guess what? She kept going. She didn't quit. And so I'd like for you to welcome today none other than Mrs. Denise Wiggins. Good morning, Denise. How are you today?
Good morning, my dear sister, Dr. Lynn Richardson. Thank you so much for this awesome and amazing opportunity, and I'm doing absolutely wonderful.
Well, Denise, you know, you have to tell us a little bit about your story, because even it doesn't matter how many times I say to people, I was born and raised in Chicago. My grandmother was 75 years old, cleaning homes for wealthy people with an 8th grade education, putting me through college. And I was not lucky. I simply went after everything that God gave me the ability to see. If I had the ability to see it, If I could visualize it, then I became relentless at striving toward it, growing toward it, getting it, actualizing it. And I think that people like me or people like Tyler Perry or people like Steve Harvey are just lucky. But what I want people to understand is that it's everyday people. It's normal, regular people who wake up every day with the same struggles. So tell us how you got to this place. What was your first failure? What was your first big failure? And how did you overcome that failure?
My first big failure in life was not having the opportunity and the necessary tools that I need to go to college, because I didn't have that ability to do that. So I failed at a lot of things in life, and I knew that there was something down on the inside of me that I needed to tap into. And I think a lot of us, being a single mother with 3 kids and having my first child at 19, we lose track, we lose vision, we lose hope, because when you start having children, it goes back to, okay, now I have to get an average job. But I know I'm not an average person. And when I got a job as a CNA, and I'm not degrading anyone's career, but for me, I knew that that wasn't where I was supposed to be. So I failed at that. And then I went to working in fast food restaurants. I failed at that. So then I had to do some inner work and looking at me saying, what is it that I must do? What I realized is I had to change who I was, how I saw my life, looking at my children and saying, is this where we're going to be at the next 10 to 15 years? How can I get up out of this? What is it that I need to do? And I knew that it was people that I needed to connect with.
Wow.
I had to do a mental shift.
Yes. And so you were looking at your situation and you were just saying, how can I get out of this? And when you made the mental shift, when you said you needed to connect with people, what did that mean? Who did you connect with first? Or who did you think you needed? What kind of people did you feel like you needed to connect with?
So, we all go to all different types of events. And I tell women now, you got to be strategic when you go to events. You can't just be going to all type of events that's not going to be profitable for you in this season of your life. So about 10 or 15 years ago, I went to an event and I saw these ladies walk into the room, and I knew that they had the opportunity that I needed. It was just like something in my belly leaped. And when that thing leaped, I knew that those were the ladies that I needed to be connected with. So I went to them and I asked them questions. My mentor, who's Dr. Lynn, always told me, ask the right questions. Back then, I didn't know Dr. Lynn, but it's the same thing that she teaches us today. Know the right questions to ask when the opportunity is presented to you. They had what I needed, and I needed to glean from them. We can't be judgmental when we see boss women walking into the room. Like when I see Lynn and Light walk into the room, I knew that Dr. Lynn had something that I needed, and she might not remember this, but I immediately said to her, I need you to mentor me. So we can't be afraid. We got to open our mouths and ask for what we want.
You just said something so powerful that when these women walked into the room, or when Light and I walked into the room at the first wealth experience, you didn't become judgmental. You didn't become jealous. You didn't start to see, because and I take these terms and I understand jealousy. I understand envy. And all that's happening when someone is jealous is they see something that one person is doing that they are not. And they feel less than. They feel as if it should be theirs. They feel as if what the person has shouldn't belong to them. And what I always say to people, because I remember seeing, just like you, powerful women in business, and I thought, oh my God, look how great she is. Oh my God, I can be great too. I saw an example. I didn't see competition. I saw an example. And, people always say, if you can't beat them, join them. Well, I say, I don't want to beat you. I want to join you. I want to glean from you. I want to learn from you. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson, and we are talking to Denise Wiggins. You're going to find out about the businesses that she started, how she did it, how she got connected, and how she is growing to the next level, so that not only can she be first, but you can come from blaster first. Stay tuned right now. We have to take a break for traffic and weather on WVON.
Are you an exceptional real estate or financial services professional? Do you have a business or service that can improve the lives of others? You may qualify to serve the world as a member of Lynn's List. Visit www.lynnmillionaire.com. That's www.lynnmillionaire.com or call 888-LYNN-123 extension 5. That's 888-LYNN-123 extension 5 for more details.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. This is WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, my favorite radio station. You can listen live anywhere at Lynn Millionaire on social media, at lynnmillionaire.com on the World Wide Web, and also WVON.com. And we are talking to the esteemed Mrs. Denise Wiggins, who really has just been a proven example of what it means when you persevere. So before the break, Denise, you were saying when you saw these women at this event and you knew that you were going to get something, and I know that feeling. There have been times when I knew I was just supposed to be someplace. And, I call that the Holy Spirit. It's listening to God. Whenever you get something and it's a feeling and it's good and it's based in truth and it's based in love, Attorney Deidre Wood-Stokes often says, we don't get good ideas on our own. They are inspired by God who has given us the vision. So you simply listened to the feeling, you listened to the assignment, or you listened to the call. And when you went up to these women, what did you say? Because that can be intimidating for most people, Denise. So what did you say and what did you ask?
And exactly, intimidation was there, but when you are at your lowest, lower than low, you're either going to stay lower than low or you're going to just step out on faith. And a lot of times it's all about a faith move. So when I walked to them, I said to them, I don't know you and I know you don't know me, but it's something that I know that I need from you. And they looked at me weird because I'm sure it was a weird statement, but I had to follow what I was feeling.
Right.
And when they looked at me, I just knew that it could change my life.
Wow. And so how did it go from there? Did you ask questions that day? Did you set up another time to talk? How did you follow through with something that seemed like a very strange request? Because you're right. I mean, one of the things that, begins to happen when you become successful and you get in the public eye, however public that is, that public eye could be radio, it could be television, or it could be your local community. Then people start to want things from you and people want to get information. And unfortunately, there's not enough of you to go around to everybody. I would love to help every single person who needs my help. I would love to talk to each and every one of them, but I can't do it. I just don't have it in me. So how did you follow through with that and not come off as intimidating or like a crazy person, quite frankly?
Okay, so when I spoke to them, we were at a training, and once we took a break, I said to them, I wanted to buy everybody's lunch because, again, I had to get it. So I said, the next day, where are you guys going to go? I want to be there. And, of course, they looked at me again like I was crazy, but I had to show up. A lot of our opportunities and our next level is missed in showing up because we don't push ourselves. So the next day I showed up. They gave me just enough information to make me want to read that much more. Because, again, they didn't give it all to me. They said, if you want this, I'm going to see how bad you want to see change. This is the business that I do, and this is what you need to do. So I always have a paper and pen with me now everywhere I go because you never know who you're going to run into and what information you're going to need. So when they began to download certain things in me, it was like a pilot was lit on the inside that I knew was there. I just didn't know how to get that pilot lit. And it took those women to help me figure this thing out. And when I tell you, Dr. Lynn, I stayed up. I didn't get no sleep. I didn't forget I had kids because I wanted my success that bad. I got tired of going without, can't pay my rent, can't feed my kids, cars get repossessed. I got tired of that life. Barely getting by, barely making it.
Wow. And you know what you said? You gave. You said, can I take you to lunch? I can't tell you the number of times I'm starting to call you Dr. Denise. I can't tell you the number of times. That must be coming in your future. But I can't tell you the number of times when someone has reached out to me, and I'm not saying this to make anybody feel bad because I give what I give, but I'm going to give you probably 20 hours of information that can change your life. And all you need to do is buy the $20 book so you can follow along with the information. And do you know the great majority of the people say they can't afford they don't have the money for the book? I refuse to believe it. Find the money, borrow the money, get the money, ask for the money. When I first went to go speak at a Russell Simmons event, I didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Well, I had the window to throw it out of, but just barely. My home was in foreclosure or going into foreclosure. I was looking for a modification. I was on food stamps. I had not recovered for the economy. But once they told me to come because I expressed the need to give, I never gave any excuses. And what it sounds like, Denise, is that you didn't offer excuses. You put yourself in the room. You were honest about what you needed, but you offered lunch in exchange for an opportunity to glean. Would you say, is that how it went?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And when they gave me what I needed, I read, I studied, I read, and I began to put myself in those places where I can connect with other people. And when I met Dr. Lynn for the very first time, you never seen me before. I never seen you before. But when you spoke, here we go again. This is my second time around. In phase 2 of my life, I went outside and called my husband. I said, babe, I got to ask her to mentor me. He says, you don't know her. I don't care if I don't know her. She's going to get to know me. And when you finished speaking on that podium, I came to you. It was a room full of people. And I said, I need you to mentor me. And you looked at me like, huh? Yes, I need you to mentor me. And your response was, I'll connect with you. And every time you text me, you could have texted me 24 hours before wherever you were going. Denise, I'm going to be here. I told my husband, put money aside, because when she texts or she calls, I need to be in the presence of you. And that has been my life from the day I met you 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
Wow.
You have changed my life. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Every time you text me and say, come here, I'm going to be here, I'm going to be there. And I've always had my pad, and you have given me step by step tools that have elevated me mentally, physically, and spiritually, and definitely financially.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. That is, and what I need you to understand about this is you sharing that with me. It puts me on track. It lets me know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, because I tell people all the time that a teacher is only as good as her students are learning. So if I'm a teacher, if I'm a mentor and nobody's learning anything, then guess what? I need to go back to the drawing board. And so you sharing what you're learning, you sharing that it's helpful to you. You brought me from off the sideline. I had been on the sideline, Denise, for, about 8 years. I had been literally on the sideline, not speaking, very comfortable in my comfort zone, helping other people. And anytime anybody would say to me, Lynn, when are you going to speak? A tear would drop. And at the time, I thought the tear was dropping because I didn't want to do it, and I didn't want the pressure of it. Or I was afraid of what it would look like if I was in the spotlight. But the truth is, that tear was dropping because I was holding back what God gave me. And it was a grieving, and it was I want to come out. It was a sad thing. And so it was you who showed me once again who I was. And so I'm saying to everybody, if you are last and you want to be first, speak up, be honest, give. find a way to connect. Don't be crazy now, but go and give so that you can receive and so that the world can get out of you what it is you came here to give it. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson. We have to take a break for news, traffic, and weather with Annette Flournoy. We'll be right back. WVON.
Are you struggling with your finances? Have you tried everything you can think of but just can't seem to get ahead on your own? Well, it's time to get some help. With a financial coach, you can find out what you don't know and learn to make better choices when it comes to your finances. Lynn Richardson's Wealth Vision 2020 Financial Coaching provides step-by-step instructions daily, a one-stop shop to create your budget, access to vetted financial coaches in specialized areas such as mortgages, insurance, real estate, investing, taxes, and more. Lynn Richardson and her team will help you set goals, undo bad habits, push you past your own beliefs, and gain peace with your finances. Go to www.lynnrichardson.com. That's www.lynnrichardson.com or call 888-LYNN123. That's 888-596-6123 for more info today.
1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation, my favorite radio station. You are here with my sister, Denise Wiggins. So Denise, we have to tell everybody what it is you do and how you even came up with not necessarily the idea, but what you did to get started and how you pushed through the obstacles to get to the next level. Let me tell you, I love rags to riches stories, and I am a consequence of it myself. And I have not even yet touched the tip of the iceberg for where it is that I want to go. But I often think, Denise, that we wait too long to tell our stories. We wait until we get all the way to the top of the mountaintop. And by the time we get up there, we have missed the opportunity to heal. We have missed the opportunity to help. So by no means do I want anybody to think that I think that I've arrived. I don't want anybody to think that Denise is done. I don't want anybody to think that, oh my God, they have just made it and they're so big and they're so great. Let me tell you something. We're still climbing. We were just in a planning retreat and we were doing our fourth quarter planning and trying to figure out what we're going to position for the new year. And many wonderful ideas and plans manifested. So we're still grinding, we're still climbing. But Denise, once you knew that being a CNA was not for you, you were looking at your kids and you were trying to figure out a bright new future for them. You were tired of having cars repossessed and just getting by. Let me tell you, I know what that is. I'm tired of just getting by. I remember having this conversation a few weeks ago, Denise, and I remember a time when my husband and I, every time we went anywhere, I had to figure out how we were going to pay for it. It didn't matter if we were having dinner with friends and the meal was $30. I was sitting there trying to figure out, okay, which account am I going to take it out of? Which account can I move it to? I was sick and tired of trying to get by. So after you made your presence known and you got what you needed from these women, how did you start a business that became $1 million business? What did you do? Because I think people think that you have to have a degree from Harvard, but you don't. You don't have to have a degree from Harvard to create $1 million business. What did you do?
So for me, again, I didn't go to college, so I have a high school education. Again, I read a lot, but I started my first $1 million business. Again, the information that the lady shared with me and a lot of reading. So my body came out of the pit, but my mind didn't come out. Why do I say that? I say that because when I started my first business, I made millions of dollars and I also lost millions of dollars.
Wow.
If we don't get a mental shift, no matter where we go, if we don't get our minds right and get our minds in line with where we want to go and where God wants us to go, the same mentality, you'll come out of it body-wise, but your mentality will stay the same. So in 2007, I made all this money, made a lot of money, but again, I wasn't mentally there. So I looked at myself and I said, how did I get to this place? God had allowed me to create this business from nothing because I didn't have an education. I didn't have any type of business knowledge. I didn't know that you needed an attorney and a tax accountant and bookkeeping and all those things when you start getting in a different tax bracket. But when I sat down and I said to myself, okay, now you got to restructure. Now you need another group of people that you need to glean from. So I started going to different seminars to meet new people. When my new business started, I partnered with someone that could help me. See, we don't have to start a $5 million business alone. Collaborate with some people because what you can't do, they can do. And what they can't do, you can do. And it kind of offsets everything. So my first business, I started with zero. I didn't have any money. I had a negative bank account. I needed an office space. It was through the state of North Carolina because that's where I reside. And I went to the guy and asked him if you can give me this office space. And I didn't mean to cry in front of the guy, but the Holy Spirit hit me and the tears just began to flow because I knew if he just gave me the opportunity that it would change. So I said, if you can just give me this space, I can promise you in the next 30 days, I can pay you 6 months rent.
Wow.
Now, mind you, I had to hire all people with degrees. I don't have a degree. I didn't know anything about the hiring process. So I had to read that information. And then I began to hire doctors. I began to hire therapists. I began to hire all these licensed people with no money. But they saw the vision. When people see your grind, because people are watching, when they see that you are serious and you really want this thing, because consistency and determination is what's going to get you to that next step. God puts us on a step, but he don't require us to stay there. We stay there on our own. It's time to get up, read, and connect with the right people and get up to that next level. And that's what I had to do.
Wow.
And that means I had to sacrifice to the fullest. No hanging out, no going out with my girlfriends. No, I ain't trying to date no man. I need to get out of this hell that I was in. And I was just so determined, Dr. Lynn. I was so determined to come up to the next level.
Let me tell you, our stories are so similar because when I got bit with the financial education bug, you see, I had no idea what I was going to do. And I did go to college. I went to college. I got married, and I thought that was the pathway to success. But I have shared on many instances, I was depressed. I had postpartum depression after having my first daughter. And I loved my husband. I knew that he was sent to me by God, but I did not feel successful. I didn't feel happy. I was like, wait a minute, is this it? Like, you're supposed to be an adult and you broke? Like, it just felt like my world was so small and I saw it being bigger. And when I began to help people get approved for mortgages, and I wasn't even in the mortgage business, that's when I came alive. And I remember going to a RE/MAX office on Harlem Avenue in Summit, Illinois. And there was a Jewish man who ran the office. And I said to him, if you give me a space in your office, I promise you, I'm going to bring in so much business. And he told me my first story about sales. He said, Lynn, remember to sell the sizzle. And he told me this story about this great steakhouse. And every time they brought out a steak, it was sitting on this little black dish, and it was sizzling, and everybody talked about the steak. Well, before they would bring the steak out, they would put a big piece of butter on top of it and put it under the broiler. So when it came out, it was sizzling. So the steak, it's not that the steak wasn't good, but people were amazed by the sizzle. And I'll never, ever, ever forget that. Well, a couple of weeks later, about a month later, the office wound up folding because he went under and he reorganized and so on. But he gave me that same opportunity. But the thing that I hear you saying, Denise, repeatedly, and this is why you are even a mentor to me, because I'm so busy. My schedule is crazy, but I have been taking the time. You keep talking about going to seminars. You keep talking about how you're educating yourself. You keep talking about how you are getting the information that you don't have. And you keep talking about when you don't know what to do, recognizing that and making the shift. Talk to us about the importance of getting the education and investing in yourself with information.
So investing in yourself as personal development is absolutely key to success. You cannot go to the next level on something that you do not know. So wherever you can't grow, you can't go. So it's so key to it. Like, I can't express it enough. I've been in business over 12 years, and the success that I have had over the 12 years come from me learning, because, again, I did not go to college, so I don't have all of that acronyms and stuff behind my name. So I had to take online trainings and, again, go into seminars, but being intentional about certain seminars, because some people, you can't go to seminars that people that are on the same level as you. I have to go to seminars like people with Dr. Lynn, MC, those kind of seminars and higher, because I'm going up to where those people are. So I have to tell people personal development is so key. Connect with the right women and just learn what it is that whatever area that you want to learn in. You got to shift how you look at your life, how you look at your situation, and say, I'm right here right now, but I'm going to take this course and I'm going to learn what it is, whether it's jewelry, whether it's wanting to be an author and trying to write a book, or whatever it is that you want to do. Connect with the right people, find the right trainings and seminars, because, again, you cannot grow if you don't develop yourself. You've got to do that introspective thing on you. Looking at you in the mirror, I do it every day, even to this day, and tell myself who I am and what I'm going to become. Because, again, I haven't even tipped the ice. I haven't even touched where God is going to take me. But I got to continue to develop myself mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. It's just the key to it. It's the key component.
Yeah, I have a tendency to kind of get oversaturated with new information. And sometimes I have to slow myself down, because it's like, oh my God, I just learned this. Oh my God, I just learned that. But the truth is, you can never have too much knowledge. You can never have too much anything. And, there's a saying, if you're the smartest person in your group, you need a new group. And for a long time, I was the smartest person around me, and that's why I was in a dumb situation. I tell people all the time, if you are smart intellectually, but you are not in a smart situation, then the smart has skipped a step. And sometimes we outsmart ourselves. And so, what I love about this, Denise, is, you've said repeatedly, you don't have a college education. You don't have any degrees. You don't have this stuff behind your name. I do have a college education. I do have degrees. I do have stuff behind my name. But let me tell you something. We were both in the same situation. So it's not the lack of an academic education or the achievement of an academic education that's going to get you to the next level. It is being open. It's being committed. It's being truthful. It's being honest with yourself. It's taking 100% responsibility. It is not being jealous. It's not blaming other people for the situation that you're in. If you fall down, okay, fall down. But if you fall down, get back up. Start all over again. Go back to the drawing board. I have to tell you, Denise, that the number one thing that drives me right now is if something isn't working, I have to look at myself. If things aren't going the way I know that they can, because I've already received the vision for where it should be, then I look at Lynn Richardson. Lynn Richardson didn't learn something. Lynn Richardson didn't understand something. Lynn Richardson made a bad choice. It's not that I'm a bad person. I just didn't make the right choice. So with everything, I'm going back to looking at myself. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson. Denise Wiggins is here. You're going to get some tips and some steps from her. But we have to take a break right now for traffic and weather. We'll be right back. WVON.
Do you want to leave a legacy for your loved ones? Do you know the difference between an estate plan and a will? Are you newly engaged and concerned about getting a prenuptial agreement? Are you married to your child's mother or father And do you know what happens to insurance money if you are not? Call your wealth counselor, Attorney Deidre Woodstokes. With over 22 years of experience, Attorney Stokes has all the answers you need to help you secure your family's financial future. You can find Attorney Stokes on Lynn's list at www.lynnmillionaire.com. That's www.lynnmillionaire.com, or call 888-LYNN-123. That's 888-596-6123. Protect your legacy now.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Millionaires Roundtable. I'm your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON 1690 AM, the talk of Chicago, the voice of the nation. I have Denise Wiggins here. She is a woman, a business mogul, an entrepreneur, and just a great woman of God who has started from the bottom and going up. We haven't arrived yet, but we are certainly we are certainly on our way. Denise, first of all, where can people find you? Because your story is just so enlightening, inspiring. The way you have reinvented yourself over and over and over again. Where can people find you to connect with you?
You can connect with me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter at Denise, that's Denise, Wiggins, Wiggins.
Okay. And tell us about your companies. Tell us about how what do you have going now, and what can people do to get involved?
Okay, so my first business that I've had it'll be 12 years in December. It's called Visions of New Hope, and we're located in Atlanta, Georgia. That is a behavioral health agency where we provide services to adults, children, and adolescents that are suffering with any type of mental health issues. We can't be silent anymore. We got to get the help that's needed to our communities. And the phone number for that location is 404-254-4500.
So,
again, 404-254-4500.
And so this is your mental health agency in Atlanta, Georgia, and it's available to people in the entire state of Georgia. Is that right, Denise?
Region 3. So Region 3 covers like Atlanta, Decatur, DeKalb, Jonesboro, Gwinnett County, Henry County, Fulton County. It's about 12 or 13 counties, but I can list those out for you.
Okay, excellent. And we'll follow up we'll do a follow up with our listeners. As a matter of fact, we'll do a blog and we'll put it at lynnmillionaire.com so everybody can get more information and learn more about your story. So that's one of your businesses, a mental health care organization based out of Atlanta, Georgia. Tell us about your other businesses.
I have a cosmetic company which I've turned into a direct sales program. And we have ambassadors all over the world, actually, to God be to glory, that sells the products and make a 40% commission off of everything that they sell. It's a unique and an amazing sisterhood. And you can find information on LipSynk at www.lipsynk, and that's LIPSYNK cosmetics.com.
And at LipSynk Cosmetics, so we know that you have partnered with some of our favorite celebrity sister friends.
Yes.
There's the MC Light collection. So there's the Light collection. And two of my favorite colors are Light as a Rock, of course. I named that lipstick color. I named that gloss specifically. And it's one of those colors that anybody can wear. It's natural with kind of a brown, bronze kind of a tint. And then, of course, Wanted, which was one of the songs off of her A Legend album. And it's the best red you will ever find. It's just deep. It's sexy. It's beautiful. And so you made that opportunity available. And then you also have the Cocoa collection. But tell us more about your ambassador program, because what I love about what you did, you went from simply providing a product that people can purchase, but you made it possible for other women to start a home-based business and to earn commissions. Tell us about that shift.
So what that was like for me is God had given me this vision about 3 years ago. LipSynk will be 5 years old in December. November, I'm sorry. And when he gave it to me, I didn't know anything about direct sales. Again, got to read and got to study and got to connect with the right people. So I said I would read. I started reading one. I was like, oh, this is too much. But I knew that I needed to create an opportunity for other women to succeed because that's my calling. So got the books, did the necessary reading, connected with an awesome and amazing sales rep who's been in pharmaceuticals for over 25 years, handling $5 million, $50 million brands and all that kind of thing. And we just kind of came together and put it together and made it happen. And when we first opened the doors up, we had over 2,000 women that had came through the organization. But we had to streamline it, over 2,000 women that had came through. And now a lot of women are coming back because, again, we want it, but we don't want to do the necessary things to get it. And what we do at the ambassador program is we give you the tools because what I've learned in this last year of the ambassador program and over the years, a lot of us, we just don't know. And when we don't know, we are too afraid to say that, but we don't understand is that is what keeps us stuck. And as long as the enemy can keep your mouth closed, then he got you. So I make it a safe place to come and say, hey, Denise, I don't know how to do this. Okay, we're going to help you. Here's the tools. Here's the steps. It's a $15 a month fee. That's all you got to pay. And you don't have to buy your product, but you need to be a product of the product.
Yes.
Because, again, everything is online. So they go out and they do their vending and they sell and they come straight to the warehouse. The warehouse packs the orders and ship everything out. It's just been so amazing.
Yes. And you just said something. First of all, the $15 a month, that's not an expense. That's an investment.
Exactly.
It's an investment. It is a tax write-off. And now that you are involved in this cosmetic company, then everywhere you go is business. Because everywhere you go, if you are a product of the product, that means you are wearing the cosmetic. So every time you go somewhere, you're advertising. So now this becomes a way that you can document properly and legally and ethically and morally for the IRS. When I went to this event, it was for business. I wore my lipstick. I was I'm my own model every single time. Like there is nothing better than that. That means when I go out to dinner, when I travel, when I move around, every time I drive in my car, all day long, I am in the business of promoting my home-based business. And what I think people don't understand, you got to spend money to make money. You've got to spend money to get money. There is nothing. They say you can't squeeze blood out of a turnip. Well, let me tell you something. When you get an opportunity to go somewhere, when you get an opportunity to go to the next level, you have to be there. You have to show up. I want everybody to go to lipsyncosmetics.com. lipsyncosmetics.com. I want you to support Denise and her business. If you are interested in starting your home-based business, go and click on the ambassador program. Learn, get educated. I had the opportunity to speak at one of your first sales meetings, and it was such an awesome weekend to be in the presence of women who want more, who are doing more, who are growing. And men, we're not leaving you out. We got some stuff for you as well. Denise, it has been such a pleasure and a privilege to talk to you. This is the Millionaires Roundtable. I am your host, Lynn Richardson. It's WVON. We're still creating millionaires, one day at a time, $1 at a time, one dime at a time. And that means you. I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.